So today I'll be discussing with something called as Descartes' rule of signs. Okay, so what is the use of that? We'll see. So before that, let me teach you something called as what I mean by continuation and variation of signs. Okay. So I'll not give you a very precise definition of this thing, but I'll just tell you what I mean by this. Suppose I have some sequence of real numbers. Suppose I have -3, I have 5, I have 2.2, I have -1, I have -2, I have -1.1, I have 3. So I have some sequence of real number, definitely finite sequence. Okay. Now we are not interested in the magnitude, but we are interested in the signs. Okay, so you see here, if I go from here to here, okay, so let me tell you first one thing. What I'll do, I will just copy their signs in the next line, leaving the magnitude. So I'll copy here minus, I'll copy here plus, copy here plus, copy here minus, 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 and then plus. So we will not be interested in the sign, but we'll be interested in the we will be interested in the signs and not in the magnitude. Now see here, there is a change in sign. This change in sign is called as variation. As you can see, the sign changes if I go from here to here. So minus to plus sign changes, but plus to plus sign remains same. That is known as continuation. Again, this is a variation. This is continuation, continuation, variation. So in this sequence, how many variations are there? There are 3 variations of signs. Okay, there are 3 variations of signs. So if I see here, how many continuations are there? 1, 2, and 3. And there are 3 continuation of signs. So this is what we mean by variation and continuation of signs. So when I go from any term to next term, if the sign changes, we say that that is a variation. And if you go from any term to any other term, the next term, not any other term, the next term, then we say that that is a, and if the sign does not change, we say that that is a continuation. So we are mostly interested in the variation. Now we might think, what if this sequence has a 0? Like this time, it was all non-zero. But you might argue, what happens if there is some 0? 0 has no sign at all. It is neither positive nor negative. So suppose I have this -5, 0, 1, 2, -1, -3, 4. Suppose I have this sequence. Okay. Now, what I'll do, I'll write the signs again. I'll ignore the presence of 0. So this is what the rule says. What you do, you just assume that 0 was not there only. So what will happen to the signs now? This will become minus. We'll ignore its presence. Then it will be plus. Sign of 1 is plus. Sign of 2 is plus. Sign of -1 is minus. Sign of -1 is minus. Sorry, minus is minus, and sign of 4 is positive. We are just ignoring the presence of 0. So remember that whenever I have 0 in my finite sequence, then I'll ignore its presence to count the variation and continuation. Now let us count the variation. So there is 1 variation, 2 variation, and 3 variation. So there are 3 variations of signs in this finite sequence. And continuation also you can count. one continuation and two continuation, and there are two continuations. But still, we will not be interested in the continuations. We'll be only interested in the variation of signs. So good enough. We understood this. So any confusion up to here regarding the variation of signs? Descartes gave a relation between the real roots and the variation of signs. My point is this: if I have any polynomials, right? Suppose I'm talking about this polynomial x to the power 4 minus x cube plus x plus 3. Suppose I have any polynomial. So what I have x to the power 4, I'll write x to the power 3, I'll write x square, I'll write x, I'll write the constant term. Right? Now, what Descartes said, what you do is, you write down their coefficient. So coefficient is 1, coefficient is minus 1, coefficient of x square is not there, that means 0. Because x square is not there, coefficient is 0, as simple as that. Coefficient of x is 1 and constant term is 3. You write down their signs plus, minus, ignore the presence of 0, plus, plus. Descartes said that the number of positive root of this equation, does not exceed the number of variations, and if less is less than the even number. I'll tell you what is the meaning of this. So what it said, first of all, what he said, that if we want to count the positive root of this equation, fx equals to 0, what he said, the number of positive roots will not exceed the number of variations. How many variations are there? There are 2 variations. So what Descartes said, for this equation, the number of positive roots will not be more than 2 for sure. But he did not guarantee that there will be exactly 2. He said cannot be more than 2. He did not say that there is exactly 2. And he said cannot be more than the number of variation, and if it is less, then it must be less than an even number. That means for this equation fx equals to 0, because the number of variations is 2, so according to Descartes, the number of positive root of this equation is either 2 or 0. These are the only possibility. Okay, these are the only possibilities given by Descartes. So let me state Descartes' rule of signs in a more formal way. Okay, let me state Descartes' rule of sign in a more formal way. So Descartes' rule of sign. Rule of signs. So let me state precisely what Descartes said. The number of positive, remember this is very important, he just talked about positive roots. Okay, the number of positive roots. So whenever I am writing positive roots, I am definitely talking about real roots, because if the roots are complex, we don't know which complex numbers are negative or which are positive, because there is no this less than and greater than sign in complex numbers, right? So number of positive roots of an equation, the number of positive root of an equation fx equals to 0 with real coefficients. So again, this is a problem for equation with real coefficients, does not exceed the number of variations, of signs, in the sequence, of the coefficients of fx. So what Descartes said, the number of positive roots will not exceed the number of variations of signs in the sequence of the coefficients of fx, and if less, it is less by an even number. It is less by an even number. So this is what Descartes' rule of sign. So I hope you understood the statement. So suppose I have some algebraic equation with real coefficients fx equals to 0. We will write down the coefficients. We will count the number of variations of the coefficients. Okay. So what Descartes said, the number of positive roots of the equation fx equals to 0 cannot exceed the number of variations. Suppose the number of variations is 3. So what Descartes said, the number of positive roots cannot exceed 3. That means that equation will definitely have, that equation will at most have 3 positive roots. At most. Not more than that. Cannot exceed the number of variations. But he also said that it can be even less than that. It cannot exceed 3, but it can be less than that. But if it is less by an even number. So 3 minus an even number, the only even number that is less than 3 is 2. So 3 minus 2 is 1. So either my equation will have 3 positive roots or 1 positive root. If the number of variations are 3, the number of positive root of the equation will either be 3 in number or 1 in number. There is no possibility to have 2 positive roots or 4 positive roots. Did you understand my point? So now you tell me, suppose if the variations of sign is 4. There are 4 variations of signs. What can you say about the number of positive roots? What Rahul said is exactly correct. So if the number of variation of signs is 4, then the number of positive roots of fx equals to 0 cannot exceed 4. That means, and if less, it's less than even number. That means either 4, you subtract 2 from 4, that is 2, or you subtract 2, it is 0. So it will be either 4 or 2 or 0. It can have either 0 positive roots, it can have 2 positive roots, it can have 4 positive roots. The possibility 1 positive root, 1, 3, 5, this all have been removed. So Descartes has given us a way to determine a range for positive roots. Okay. Now there are many deductions that can be made using Descartes' rule of sign. Deductions. There are many deductions that can be made using this rule. So the first deduction is, I can talk about the negative roots also. How? I'll tell you. So this is the first deduction. The number of negative roots of an equation of an equation just a minute. The number of negative roots of an equation fx equals to 0. So I'm talking about this some negative roots. The number of negative roots of the equation fx equals to 0 with real coefficients does not exceed the number of variations of signs in the sequence of the coefficients of, this is important, of f of minus x, and if less, it is less than an even number. So this is what I can talk about. This is what I can say about the number of negative roots of an equation. So I will not do the proof. The proof is extremely simple. What we know is the proof requires this fact: if alpha is a negative root of, the proof is completely based on this and the Descartes rule of sign. So what is this result? If alpha is a negative root of f of x equals to 0, then alpha is a positive root of f of minus x equals to 0. This fact I'll be using. You see, suppose alpha is a negative root of this equation fx equals to 0, then I can say that alpha will be a positive root of f of minus x equals to 0. Now, why this happens is very simple, because alpha is the root of this equation. So x minus alpha will be a factor of fx, right? So fx can be written as x minus alpha times some quotient. Now you tell me, what is f of minus x? Wherever there is x, you replace that x by minus x. And now you see, if I equate this to 0, what I will get? X equals to alpha, one root. Oh, sorry, yeah, x equals to minus alpha. Right? X equals to minus alpha. So what is this? Alpha was negative, so minus alpha will be positive. So this is what I have written. If alpha is a negative root of this equation, and alpha is a positive root of f of minus x equals to 0. Now just look here. Alpha is a positive root of this equation. I can use the Descartes rule of sign for this polynomial, for this one, and we know that will not exceed the number of variations of signs in the sequence of coefficients of f of x minus equals to 0, and then I have got a range for alpha as well. Understood? Basically, these proofs are not at all important. You can just go through it, but the proof is extremely simple. Just try to visualize things. Alpha is a negative root, so alpha will be a positive root of this. Use the Descartes rule of sign here, and then we have got a range for alpha, so done. So there are many other deductions which you can directly understand from the sums and with your logic. Okay, so I will not be doing those deductions. That will be just wasting our time. Let me pick up two sums, and then we'll understand all other deductions and this too, Descartes rule of sign and a deduction from Descartes rule of sign. So here is the question. You have to use the Descartes rule of sign to examine the nature rules. You have to tell me how many real roots are there, how many of them are positive, how many of them are negative, how many of them are complex, and so on. So let me start solving A. Let me start solving A. What is A? So let me call this as some name. Let f of x equals to x to the power 4 plus 2x square plus 3x minus 1. So this is our f of x. We also find out f of minus x, because to find the negative roots we want f of minus x. What is f of minus x? You replace all the x by minus x. So minus x whole to the power 4 is x to the power 4 again, minus x square is x square again, 3 into minus x, so this will become minus 3x, and minus 1 remains same. This is what I have done. I have just replaced x by minus x. Okay. So let me write down the signs of coefficients of fx and signs of coefficients of f of minus x. Okay. The signs in the coefficients of f of x are, so what are the signs? Let me write it down. It is plus, because there is no x cube, doesn't matter, I can just replace that with 0, and 0 no need to write, already said. So simply I'll follow this. So plus, 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 minus, plus, 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 minus. Okay, so how many variations are there? How many variations are there? There is only one variation. Okay, there is only one variation. There is only one variation. And therefore the number of positive roots of fx equals to 0. Now you see, what was guaranteed by Descartes? The number of positive roots will not exceed the number of variations, and if less is less than an even number. So because the number of variation is just 1, the number of positive roots cannot be more than 1, it is at most 1. But why you can say that it is exactly 1? Because what was written in the statement, if less is less than an even number, I cannot subtract any even number to get smaller than 1, right? Like my point is this, if you subtract 1 minus 2, it will become minus 1, and that makes no sense that the number of positive root is minus 1. That is completely like a very weak sentence, right? So it is exactly 1, because it cannot be less than 1, right? Because you have to subtract an even number from there. So there is only one variation, and therefore the number of positive roots of fx equal to 0 is exactly 1. Understood? Why exactly 1? Because it cannot be less than that. If it is less than that, then it should be less than an even number. Keep that in mind. Don't forget that. So similarly, the signs in the coefficients of f of minus x are, so what are the variation in signs in the coefficient f of minus x? F of minus x is this, plus, plus, minus, minus. So plus, plus, minus, minus. Again, how many variation is there? Only one variation is there. Only one variation is there. This is a continuation, this is a variation, continuation. So only one variation. So there is only one variation, and therefore the number of negative roots of, so positive roots of this equation are basically the negative roots of this equation. So number of negative roots of fx equals to 0 is exactly 1. Understood up to here? If you have any doubt, please ask. So now I know that this equation fx equals to 0 has exactly one root which is positive and exactly one root which is negative. But remember, Descartes' rule of sign does not tells you about the zero root. Okay, so zero root can be easily checked. However difficult the equation looks like, doesn't matter. You just put here x equals to 0. You just put here x equals to 0. So when I put x equals to 0 here, 0, 0, 0, minus 1. So f of 0 is minus 1. So we can say that 0 is not a root of this equation. So also 0 is not a root of the equation fx equals to 0. So my point is this, you always have to check for 0. So this completes all the real roots. So I know this equation fx equals to 0 has one positive real root, one negative real root, and no other real root are possible. Because 0 would have been possible, but when I placed 0 instead of x, I am not getting the root. That means 0 is not a root of the equation of x equals to 0. So this completes all the possibility of the real roots for this equation fx equals to 0. Now you look at the degree of fx. The degree of fx is 4. The degree of fx is 4. So there are two real roots. So remaining two must be complex. So I will just write that. So the number of complex roots is exactly I can say, remember that, exactly. So thus, what can I say about the nature? The equation has one positive root, one negative root, and two complex. So this is guaranteed by Descartes. I can tell you for this problem that exactly how many positive roots are there, exactly how many negative roots are there, and exactly how many complex roots are there. I'll go to number B. Let f of x equals to, so what was number B? It was x to the power 6 plus x to the power 4 plus x square plus x plus 3, right? So let's determine f of minus x also very quickly. So what is f of minus x? It is x to the power 6 plus x to the power 4 plus x square minus x plus 3. Why minus x? Because when I put here x equals to minus x, this will become minus x. But when I am putting in these three terms x equals to minus x, so due to the even power, there is no change. So let me write down the signs. I'll write in shortcut this time. Signs of coefficients of fx. Coefficients of fx. So what are the signs of coefficient of fx? It is all plus. It is all plus. So how many variations are there? How many variations are there? So there are 0 variations, right? So there are no variations, or you can have 0 variations, and thus there are no positive roots of fx equals to 0. because the number of variation is 0 and with the positive roots cannot exceed, the positive root cannot exceed the number of variations. So because the number of variation is 0, number of positive roots cannot exceed 0. That means it is exactly 0. So there are no positive roots of this equation. So similarly, very quickly we check how many negative roots are there. So sines of coefficients of f of minus x. So let's quickly write down the signs of f of minus x, which is plus 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 minus plus. Okay, good enough. I have plus 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 minus plus. Like here the number of variation is 1 and then 2. There are 2 variations of signs, you may write. So there are 2 variations of signs, and thus the number of negative roots of the original equation. So thus there are, what can you say about the number of negative roots of the equation fx equals to 0? So because the number of variation is 2, so you cannot write just 2, because Descartes said that it cannot exceed 2. It can, if it's less than an even number. So what is the previous even number than 2? It is 0, right? So there are either 0 negative roots or 2 negative roots. So this time I don't have unique number. I can say that there are exactly this many negative roots. No, this time I can say that it has either 0 negative root or 2 negative roots. So this I know. This is guaranteed by Descartes. So no positive root. But about the negative roots, what can I say? It is either 0 or it is either 2. I don't have the guarantee about like whether it is 0 negative roots or 2 negative roots. Now again we will check whether 0 is a root of this or not. Definitely 0 is not a root, because if I put here 0, I am getting 3. So also 0 is not a root of f of x equals to 0. So this possibility also gets exhausted. So this exhausts all the all the real roots of the equation fx equals to 0. This exhausts all the possibilities of real roots. So it has no positive root, it has no 0 root, it has either 2 negative roots, or it has got how many? Either 2 negative roots or 0 negative roots. So what can you say about the complex root of this equation? The degree is 6. So what can you say about the complex root of this equation? Tell me. So what Rahul said is correct. See, the number of real roots is either 0 or 2. This is the case when there is no positive root, no negative root, no 0 root. So the number of real roots is 0. And the degree of the equation is 6. So there should be 6 complex roots. By the fundamental theorem, it says that a degree, if the degree is n, there must be n roots in total. And if there are 2 real roots, that means 0 positive, 2 negative, and no 0 root also. So 2 real roots. So in that case, it will have 4 complex roots. This was one of the deductions made by Descartes, but I have not done this deduction because this is very simple. You can understand by yourself like how many complex roots must be there. So that is the reason I did not do this deduction. If you read your book, they have just written this as a deduction, that the number of complex roots will be this much after subtracting things. So that is not required. So let me state it precisely. So as the degree of fx is 6, the number of complex roots of fx equals to 0 is either 6 or 4. So what conclusion I have made? This conclusion I have made in total. Thus, there are two possibilities. Either fx equals to 0 has no positive root, that means 0 negative root, so has 6 complex roots. So this is one possibility, that it has no real root at all, it has only 6 complex roots. Or I have this possibility, fx equals to 0 has 2 negative roots and 4 complex roots. So these are the conclusion made by us from Descartes' rule of sign, using the Descartes' rule of sign. So in the previous question, number A, I had an exact figure that it has got 1 positive root, 1 negative root and 2 complex roots. But this time, there can be 2 possibilities. Either the equation has all complex roots, or the equation has 2 negative root and 4 complex roots. And using another tools, we can just eliminate one of these conditions. Like you may use Rolle's theorem to take out the derivative and check whether the root will be there or not. You again use that if f of alpha is negative, f of beta is positive, or f of alpha and f of beta are opposite in sign, then there exists a root between alpha and beta. All those things you may just check and eliminate one of the conditions if you want to. Okay, but Descartes cannot tell you more than this. Descartes has just given us an idea that it will have either 6 complex roots or 2 negative and 4 complex. So this much can be guaranteed by Descartes, nothing more. Okay, if you want to know more about the roots of fx, there are many other tools. Use the concept of multiple roots, use Rolle's theorem and so on. Use the IVP, intermediate value property, and check. Okay, so this completes nature of roots. Okay, so we will now go to a very important concept called relation between roots and coefficients. So this will be a new topic. I'll start in the next class. So this completes nature of roots. In the next class, I'll start with relation between roots and coefficients, which is a very important part. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you.